If you have dry skin, the first thing you probably think is, I need a moisturizer, but that could actually make your skin even drier because of the hyaluronic acid effect, which for some reason barely anyone on YouTube has actually explained fully. The best solution is actually one of the cheapest and makes far less profit for the big companies, so you guys don't get told about it as much, even though it's biologically perfect. You see, what happens is you rub the product here, but the skin has two layers and HA is actually in a layer below called the dermis. Rubbing it in here doesn't actually get it to where it needs to be here. So it either stays on top or ends up nowhere near where it's actually found. Because of its chemical effect though, it still draws water into itself like a sponge. Now, if you're in a rainforest, that's fine because water gets pulled into your skin from the humid atmosphere. But seeing as you're probably not, the HA draws in moisture from where it is in your skin below. That's why, and listen really carefully, the day you forget to put your moisturizer on, the only reason you suddenly remembered that you forgot to put it on is because your skin feels dry. But if your moisturizer was hydrating you all this time, why would it have left it dry the day you forgot to put it on? Think about it, okay? Just use common sense for a second. Imagine I invented a product and I said, I'm designing this to purposely create dry skin. What would you expect? You'd expect to use it, and when you finished using it, your skin is left feeling dry. Now, what's the difference between that and the day you forgot your moisturizer? Nothing. But because it feels nice when you rub it in and run your finger over it, you keep buying it due to the reliance you now have for it, which the company you bought it from absolutely loves. The reason you don't need a moisturizer is because we have cells called fibroblasts in the dermis that make HA for us already. And they can do it far better than any company because they've had millions of years to work on it. Real hydration actually comes from oil, not HA or the water that it attracts. You see, skin makes sebum/oil at the surface to trap in water below that the fibroblasts HA attracts like a sponge. Why does it do this? Well, water and oil don't mix if you put them together in a cup, they separate into layers. That means if your fibroblasts are making HA in the dermis and that then attracts water, then the oil at the surface will prevent that water from being lost from a process called TEWL, transepidermal water loss, because the water can't mix through the oil, like we just said, to then escape into the atmosphere and therefore leave you feeling dry. The fibroblasts actually do this automatically if your skincare is biologically appropriate like this. This is why it's best to have a routine that focuses on giving the cells what they need to work with instead of trying to rub in what they should produce. Think about it, because that is literally how your body actually works. You don't eat ready-made brains or lungs. You eat raw ingredients like carbs and proteins to build what you need afterwards from them. Your skin's the same. You don't rub in the finished products. You give it the fuel it needs to make everything itself perfectly. That's how we're designed, that's how we evolved. But you probably never thought of that because marketing from big skincare brands is so good, you just assume you have to buy a moisturizer. A woman that had oily skin before menopause can go to dry skin after menopause. This is because menopause can reduce testosterone levels, and testosterone can be highly linked to sebum or oil production in the skin. Hence why teenagers get acne and oily skin a lot when they have a lot of testosterone in puberty. That phenomenon around menopause shows you that oil going down can give dry skin. So to treat dry skin, we can do the opposite. My honest advice that big skincare companies will hate because it stops their sales of expensive HA moisturizers is number 1, drink plenty of water so you never feel thirsty. Number 2, stop using HA products that can't penetrate into the dermis and just dry you out instead. And number 3, use an oil like one of these. Now, there are injectable alternatives too, but that's for another video. This is purely about home skincare solutions. If you want to use it in the morning, a couple of drops is enough so your skin doesn't look oily, but you still get a good barrier to prevent that water loss. In the evening though, I want you to use so much that you look shiny. Then when you wake up in the morning, your skin feels absolutely baby soft and completely hydrated. It's gonna cost you so much less with this method because oils are very inexpensive to manufacture, so you have very little to lose. I literally never use a moisturizer, and neither do any of my patients that bother to listen to me. And guess what? Even on days where I forget to put anything on, I can't tell or remember, because for much less than the price of a moisturizer, I never, ever, ever had dry skin.